Alright, so first we're looking at solving proportions. If you see an example of this, it's probably going to look really familiar with what you've done before. Okay, up at the top it talks about the cross products property. You've probably all heard of cross multiplying, right? Or butterfly method, some of y'all called it. That's all we're looking at today. We're using that method in order to solve for a missing variable. So once again, that definition just kind of shows it all using variables. It's a little easier if we look at it with an example involving some numbers to start with. Okay, so here's a basic one right here. So we got 7 over 8 equals m over 12. So what we're going to do to solve this is use that cross products property. We're going to cross multiply. So you got 8 times m gives you 8m. And then we got 7 times 12, which gives us 84. And after you do that, you only have one step left, which would be to do what? Divide by 8. And we're going to get a decimal here. And we get 10.5. Okay, so that looks kind of familiar, right? Okay, one more like that, and then we'll make it a little more complex down here. Cross multiply again. 3 times 8. Get 24, and then 4 times x. 4x. You'll notice I wrote that kind of opposite side of how I did it up here. That doesn't matter. You can put them on either side when you cross multiply. And then divide by 4. So we should get x equals 6. Alright, we're good so far there. Right, so all this next part's doing is it's going to involve a step of distributing. So when we cross multiply here, I'm going to write it over here to the right so I have more room below it. We have 4 times, and you put parentheses, b minus 8, so it sets up a distributing problem, equals 5 times b plus 3. So now it looks like what we looked at the end of last week, where we're going to distribute and have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. So we distribute on the left, we got 4 times b. We should have 4b, and then 4 times negative 8 gives us negative 32, and then distribute on the right side. So 5 times b, be 5b, 5 times 3, 15. Okay, so from there, like the ones we've seen before, you could start anywhere you want. Give me the next step we could do. Subtract, what was it? 5b, okay. So minus 5b says, gives me negative 1b minus 32 equals 15. From there, our next step would need to be what? Add 32, yep. Now we have negative b is equal to 47. And then last, we just need positive b. So if negative b is equal to 47, positive b is equal to negative 47. So those are a little longer, but it's still using that same cross multiplying step, cross products property. Get there? All right, flip it over. And then how you might see a word problem using the cross products property where we set up proportions. So it says a portable media player has 2 gigabytes of storage, and that one can hold 500 songs. So we could write 2 gigabytes of storage can hold 500 songs. So we can write a proportion out of that. A similar but larger media player has 80 gigabytes, and we want to know how many songs it can hold. So there's what we're missing. There's our variable, how many songs. So the key when you're setting them up is you make sure you put the same units on each side of the fraction. So in the numerator on both of these, we had gigabytes, 2 and 80. And the denominator on both of them was the number of songs. As long as you have that the same, you have it set up right. And then we just cross multiply again. So we got 80 times 500, which is going to give us 40,000. 2 times x 2x, and then divide by 2. So we got 40,000 divided by 2, and we get 20,000. So the one with 80 gigabytes can hold 20,000 songs. Alright, so I told you that part would be short. That's why we're doing 2 different lessons today. So first, before we get to inequalities, I want y'all to go ahead and work through all 7 of those classwork problems, because we're not going to have homework over the proportions topic. So work through those 7, and then we will check those, and then move on to inequalities. Y'all can work together if you want.